All right, what's in your water? Well, a new report of a national group of scientists found that millions of people across the country and in Maine may be drinking water that includes an invisible cocktail of toxic chemicals.
While the state's nearly 400 water utilities comply with federal health-based standards, these experts say that doesn't necessarily mean that your drinking water is safe. And as News Center Maine's Vivian Lee reports, there are steps that you can take to protect you and your family.
We turn on our tap many times a day, but we often don't necessarily think about what could be in our drinking water. Now there's a free tool to make it easier to know how safe it is.
You can find out what contaminants are in your drinking water and also the health concerns related to those contaminants.
Tasha Stoiber is a scientist with the Environmental Working Group, a national nonprofit which just updated its drinking water database report. All it takes is putting in your zip code, and the report lists contaminants that are in your local water utility. Although the majority of Maine's nearly 400 utilities meet the legal limits set by the Environmental Protection Agency, Stoiber says some of the chemicals found in our state's drinking water supply are hundreds of times higher than what's healthy. Consumers can also see safety guidelines developed by EWG scientists about the adverse health effects associated with those contaminants.
How much of is the contaminant away from that limit, and what would my health concerns be? And for a lot of the unregulated contaminants, we don't have these limits, so we don't have adequate monitoring and testing.
The report analyzed annual test reports from 2014 to 2019 from 50,000 different water utilities across the country. More than half of the contaminants detected in the database have no federal limits, including industrial compounds known as PFAS. Earlier this year, though, Maine adopted drinking water standards for a sum of 6 different PFAS compounds. There are about 90 different contaminants, including lead, nitrate, and arsenic, that are regulated by the National Drinking Water Act, but the EPA hasn't added new compounds since 2000.
Regulating things one at a time is just proving to take too long, and it's too slow, and these contaminants are already in our water.
Half of all Maine property owners rely on wells for their drinking water, but that information is not covered by this report. Advocates believe, though, water coming from unregulated sources, though, should be the focus of improved safety standards. Patrick McCroy is the Deputy Director of Defender Health. The nonprofit works to eliminate toxic chemicals in food products and water.
These residential wells have almost no oversight or requirements for any sort of testing or monitoring.
Scientists recommend that consumers filter their water. Filters with carbon can remove most disinfection byproducts. Another recommendation, leaving an open water pitcher in the refrigerator overnight so the byproducts can dissipate. Vivian Lee, News Center, Maine.